Hello everyone, my name is Corban. Welcome back to Corban Conversations, and this is Peter. Today we will be talking about why most of our relationships fail. So the first one is a lack of commitment. Nowadays, commitment is dead. But commitment has been dead for decades now. And if you observe your life, you observe the things that we do and indulging, you realize that they require small ounces of commitment. Very little commitment. You know, we're watching a TV show. I don't like that one. We can just switch it. We can just change it. We can move on to something else. We can entertain ourselves, fulfill ourselves, gratify ourselves with something else. And our brains have been trained to treat people in just that same way. Now, if you look at romantic films and how they go about portraying romance and what love is, you realize that this idea has been perpetrated for a long time, right? And subconsciously, right, whatever you feed your mind begins to affect how you act in the real world. Subconsciously, we begin treating people in the same way. We engage with them and we decide to enter into a relationship with them, and then all of a sudden, once we stop feeling gratified for an extended amount of time, we begin to lose feelings, or maybe we don't feel the same in this given moment, and we begin to extrapolate that out over a long period of time, and then we decide to ourselves, well, I don't need to commit to this, so why not just break it off? And that is one of the main reasons why most relationships don't work, right? You have the foundation of any relationship, long-term relationship, is commitment, and you will not have a strong, healthy relationship without that factor. It will never happen. Commitment is a key. It's a must, right? And human beings are made in a way where we thrive on commitment and assurance and security. That's where security comes from. And security is a very attractive thing. Now, if you know that you're secure in someone, they will never leave you, regardless of what happens. And I'm not advocating for staying with someone through extreme situations like abuse, etc., etc. That's not at all what I'm communicating. But what I am saying is that attractive feeling of security comes from and stems from commitment itself. So without commitment, relationships are dead. It will never be revived without it, and it has to be the backbone of whatever it is you engage in, or it will be useless. So that's the first thing. Number two, flawed expectations. Most people nowadays, when we enter into relationships, we expect too much of that person, right? We expect this person to be the sole dispenser of our happiness. That is not how life works. No human being can be that for another person. Happiness has to be something you cultivate within yourself. And I'd go as far as to say that happiness is not the point of life at all. And so if you expect someone to be a never-ending fountain of happiness, you are in for a sad experience. So get that out of your head, and then you will have a better time with relationships. So having terrible expectations are one of the main reasons why relationships fail, why your relationships fail, why my relationships have failed. And I'm not talking merely romantic relationships, I'm talking about relationships in general. So let's establish that. And as we go down the line, the sixth one is especially counterintuitive and countercultural. And I think the sixth one is so key to the sustenance of any relationship that it's almost crazy that people overlook it. Now, on to the third one is a flawed view of relationships and life in general. A relationship is not some sort of gift, eternal gift to fulfillment in life, right? A relationship is something that is mutual. It is not where one party is providing something for the other party or vice versa. It is a mutual thing, right? A relationship, if you have a terrible life outside of a relationship will not fix your life, right? A relationship is a situation in which both parties benefit and grow. The reason you enter in a relationship is because it makes you both better, right? That is the point of a relationship. Without this idea in your head at all times when interacting with someone in which you're in a relationship with, that relationship will likely go downhill, right? It's a mutual thing where you steady each other in whatever direction you're going in. That is what the purpose of a relationship is. It's not for mere happiness, it's not for pleasure, it's not for joy only, right? It's a productive engagement with another individual for the purpose of bettering yourself and life in general. That is the purpose of a relationship. Now, if you lose that, you lose everything. Now on to the fourth, external focus instead of internal focus. Now let me slow down a little bit for this, because this is so key. Let me repeat. If your life is terrible and you have habits that you know are detrimental to your success and your happiness, you will not fix your life by entering a relationship with someone. Worse yet, you will not make that person's life any better. You can bet on that. Bet with your life on that, okay? You have to focus on the internal. Now, the internal are things that you can control. When you enter into a relationship, this person is not going to be your babysitter, they're not going to be your father, they're not going to be your mother, right? You're two human beings, and in order to have that relationship thriving, you have to take personal responsibility for your downfalls. You have to take personal responsibility for bettering yourself. Because a relationship, a functioning, healthy, happy, successful relationship is a relationship where both individuals, both parties are taking care of themselves and taking care of their responsibilities, not any abdication of responsibilities. That is a flawed relationship. In order to have a successful one that does not fail, you have to have that. So there has to be an internal locus of control and not an external one. Once you get that down, sky's the limit. Number 5, past negative experiences or trauma. I feel like the term trauma is thrown around too much. Way too many people have childhood trauma that they can't get over, blah, blah. And I'm in no way diminishing the magnitude and depth and power and exceptional negative reach of trauma and past experiences. Those things are real, right? Which is why it is on the list in general. But I don't think that everything is trauma. Now, past negative experiences, on the other hand, do affect people all throughout their lives. And if you fail to counter these things, if you fail to encounter these things and face them, they will affect your relationships in real life. And way too many people enter into relationships and are scared crapless of repeating or seeing things that they saw in their childhood repeated in their lives, that they shun the person or they don't allow for any progression in their lives out of fear of certain things reoccurring. Now, that is a very real problem, and it takes bravery and courage and faith and hope to get past that. But until you get past certain things that have affected you in your childhood, you will not have a successful relationship. You can count on that, right? These things show up in many areas. Maybe a boy was abandoned by his mom or his father, and now he needs refuge in a girl or someone else. You know what I mean? And all he desires from that person is a sense of security that that one person could never, ever, ever provide for him. And then he strains that relationship. He strains that person, strangles that relationship to death. And then he wonders why no one likes him, right? There are many other experiences, many other situations where these things occur and people are confused as to why they can never succeed in relationships. Now you have to go back into your past and see what things are chaining you down to situations that don't allow you to move forward, right? Until you've experienced a change in your mental framework and the way you see the world, the way you see people, your relationships will not be successful. Now on to the last, but definitely not least, the 6th reason why most of our relationships fail is a lack of self-sacrifice, selfishness. Now, I really have to slow down for this one. Peter agrees. If you are not able to sacrifice your impulses, your immediate needs and wants, your relationship, whatever relationship you do intend to get into, will never work. Ever. Now, modern society in general has this idea that the purpose of life and the goal of life is happiness. It is not. It's fulfillment. Those two things are vastly different. Two completely different things, right? And that goes back to my point about an incorrect worldview, right? The purpose of life is not happiness. It is fulfillment. Happiness is a good thing, it's a great thing, and you should bask in it once it's here. But that is not the goal. If we were to all be happy, we would be indulging in hedonistic pleasures all day long, right? And that definitely cannot be the life we're supposed to live. Just the same in a relationship, if you continue seeking after what you want in the moment, you will betray the other person, you will lose trust from the other person, that person will lose respect for you, and that relationship will go to crap, right? You have to be able to control your desires. And that is what self-sacrifice means, right? If you intend to make this person's life better, if you intend to give this person the world, right? If you intend to make this relationship work, it requires a hefty amount of self-sacrifice. And without that, relationships will not work. And I'm not talking about the one-sided self-sacrifice. I'm talking about mutual self-sacrifice, because self-sacrifice is felt. And when someone gives you a gift that you know took a lot out of them, sacrifice, took time and energy, that gift means more than anything money could buy. And that is where real love is found. Self-sacrifice. No greater love, right? Sacrifice, self-sacrifice. Doing away with selfishness is what real love embraces. Self-sacrifice. And until you're able to do that, a healthy relationship, love in general, camaraderie will forever be out of your reach. So, I just wanted to come on here and talk about things that I know have been on your minds. I know have been on many people's minds. I know it has been pressing Gen Z in general, right? If you want to have a head start in your relationships, if you want to have a better life, so to speak, you will want to master these things because they are crucial in the sustenance, success, and enjoyment, fulfillment of any relationship, whatever type, platonic, romantic, whatever. So I hope that helped. This is Corban Conversations. I'm Corban, this is Peter, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.